develop schedule, critical path, total float, and free float. Develop schedule. Develop schedule is a process of analyzing activity sequences, durations, resource requirements, and schedule constraints to create a schedule model for the project execution and monitoring and controlling. It generates a schedule model with planned days for completing project activities. Schedule network analysis. The schedule network analysis is the overarching technique used to generate the project schedule model. It employs several other techniques such as critical path method, resource optimization techniques, and modeling techniques. Critical path method. The critical path method is a tool used to estimate the minimum project duration and determine the amount of schedule flexibility on the logical network paths within the schedule model. This schedule network analysis technique calculates the early start, early finished, late start, and late finish days for all activities without regard of any resource limitations by performing a forward and backward path analysis through the schedule network. The critical path method is used to calculate the critical path and the amount of total and free float or schedule flexibility on the logical network parts within the schedule model. The critical path method does not consider risks. The critical path is the sequence of activities that represents the longest path through a project, which determines the shortest possible project duration. The longest path has the least total float, which is usually 0. Total float. The total float or schedule flexibility is measured by the amount of time that a scheduled activity can be delayed or extended from its early start without delaying the project finish date or violating a schedule constraint. Free float. The free float is the amount of time that a scheduled activity can be delayed without delaying the early start date of any successor or violating a schedule constraint. Negative float analysis is a technique that helps to find possible accelerated ways of bringing a delayed schedule back on track.